Project 75I AIP Submarines and the next wave of undersea deterrence. India's next leap underwater will be quiet rather than flashy, and that is the point. Project 75I aims to field a new class of conventional submarines with Air Independent Propulsion, AIP, giving the Navy the endurance and stealth to hold sea lanes, shadow adversaries, and complicate any planner's map in the Indian Ocean. This is the continuous story of why AIP matters, what a 75I boat must do from keel to combat system, and how it reshapes deterrence in the 2030s. Start with the physics of stealth. A conventional submarine is at its most invisible when the diesel engines are off and the boat runs on batteries. Traditionally, that quiet window lasted hours to a couple of days before snorkeling to recharge, an act that raises a mast, emits heat and noise, and invites detection by radar, infrared, or electronic surveillance. AIP inserts a second, much longer quiet window. Whether using fuel cell stacks that combine hydrogen and oxygen to produce electricity, or closed-cycle Stirling engines that burn fuel with stored oxygen, AIP lets the boat stay submerged for a week or more at slow patrol speeds without snorkeling. The payoff is operational, not just technical. Patrol boxes get wider, ambush positions last longer, and commanders can wait rather than rush. A 75I hull must be drawn around that mission. The design balances displacement for fuel, oxidizer, and batteries with the hydrodynamics that keep flow noise low. Rafted machinery mounts, anechoic tiles, and careful propulsor shaping suppress the acoustic signature. Double hull or partial double hull choices trade damage tolerance against weight. Every penetrator, masts, towed arrays, weapon tubes, is a potential noise source, so routing and isolation matter as much as raw power. Inside, a combat management system fuses inputs from flank arrays, a bow sonar, towed passive arrays, intercept receivers, and optronic masts into a single prioritized picture that a small crew can fight without cognitive overload. Weapons and sensors set the submarine's leverage. Heavyweight torpedoes remain the close-in punch. Wire-guided shots from quiet, pre-planned positions deny surface combatants freedom near choke points. Anti-ship cruise missiles launched from torpedo tubes or vertical modules turn the boat into a sea-denial sniper, able to threaten high-value units from standoff range. Land attack options, if integrated, extend deterrence ashore against logistics nodes, radar sites, or coastal batteries. A modern electronic support suite listens for radar and communications emissions, building an electromagnetic picture that guides ambush geometry without revealing the boat. Periscope moments must be rare and short. High-definition, low-light optronics and periscopeless masts help compress the exposure. AIP choice drives the engineering rhythm. Fuel cell systems offer very low acoustic and thermal signatures with high electrical efficiency, but they demand robust oxygen storage, careful hydrogen logistics, reformer-based or pre-stored, and rigorous safety engineering. Stirling solutions are mechanically simpler and proven at sea, though their moving parts and exhaust management raise different integration questions. In both cases, the real art is hotel load discipline, smart power management that lets sonar arrays, combat systems, and life support sip rather than gulp. Lithium-ion batteries, if adopted, boost sprint and recharge profiles, but require advanced thermal management and fire safety. Tactics change with endurance. Instead of sprint drift patterns driven by battery anxiety, 75I boats can take slow, patient positions across straits, sea lanes, and submarine approaches to carrier groups. They can shadow quietly for days, queuing maritime patrol aircraft or surface forces via burst transmissions on low probability of intercept links. In a crisis, the mere uncertainty about where an AIP boat sits forces an adversary to widen escorts, slow convoys, and devote scarce anti-submarine assets to protection rather than offense. Deterrence is purchased in planning hours. The opponent's staff must assume a stealthy presence, and that assumption shapes cautious behavior. Industrial choices are strategic choices. Project 75I is not just a buy, it is a build, with transfer of technology and domestic production of hull sections, combat systems, integration, and lifecycle support. Indigenous content in sonars, periscope heads, batteries, fire control software, and weapon interfaces reduces external bottlenecks and allows faster tactics software updates after fleet exercises. A well-designed through-life support model spares pipelines, dockyard skills, and AIP module overhauls, decides availability as much as the launch date. Survivability is more than silence. Shock hardening for weapons hits, redundant pumps and chilled water loops, fire detection and suppression in battery compartments, and rigorous damage control training keep a boat in the fight after the first bad minute. Navigation suites with under ice or shallow water modes, mine avoidance sonar, and precise inertial systems reduce peacetime risks that have ended many submarines' careers far from combat. Integration with the wider fleet turns stealth into strategy. A 75i boat does not hunt alone, it's a node. Maritime patrol aircraft seed sonobuoys to herd targets. Surface ships hold at standoff while the submarine scouts. Satellites and seabed sensors contribute cues, and data moves sparingly across secure burst links to preserve location secrecy. Exercises that practice this choreography, silent queuing, timed missile launches, and handoffs to air or surface shooters, turn potential into repeatable effect. Risks encounters deserve honesty. Modern adversaries field low-frequency active sonars, multi-static networks, magnetic anomaly detectors, and satellite-aided surveillance of wakes and thermal signatures. AIP Endurance narrows detection windows but does not erase them. The answer is disciplined speed control, clever bottoming tactics on noisy seabeds, deceptive decoys, and relentless acoustic hygiene. Training makes the difference between a quiet design and a quiet patrol. The strategic picture is straightforward. A handful of AIP submarines on rotation across chokepoints, from the Arabian Sea approaches to the Malacca-bound routes, can complicate any hostile task force and secure India's own sea lines in a crisis. They buy time for carriers and air power to posture, they hedge against surprise, and they give political leaders credible options short of overt escalation. Project 75i, if executed with sober engineering and strong sustainment, is less about prestige and more about pressure. The quiet kind that shapes choices without shouting. For deep dives on undersea warfare, AIP technologies, and India's evolving maritime deterrence, visit globalinfoveda.com.